the last video on my 2003 E39 M5, we finally got the front bumper on the car after I dropped the original one off the stand, and it had an unfortunate ending. This thing is so brittle. But the front bumper is back on, fully reassembled, fully repainted, and everything is looking incredible. Plus, the road's finally cleared up enough for me to put my new clutch and flywheel and all that work we did a couple videos ago to the test. The car drives beautifully. It is 100% mechanically sorted, with the exception of whatever is going on with the car thinking that it's in reverse in every gear but reverse. But I've got some bad weather in the forecast here in southern New Hampshire, so I'll have plenty of time to figure that out. But right now, while it's just barely clinging to the 40-degree mark, I'm going to suffer out here, get this thing washed up so that we can get ready to do a full paint correction on this thing. So before it gets any colder, let's jump right in. Whoops. Got all the Germans out today. So here it is, blank canvas. The car is washed up. I even hit it with my clay mitt to start the decontamination process. If you guys saw the very little raw footage I have of this car when I had it, or when I first bought it out of the guy's garage, it is a very, very clean, straight car. There's no dents at all that I have found anywhere. No real deep scratches or anything. This thing is basically immaculate for a 145,000 mile car. But like it seems everything I buy, it hasn't had, or doesn't appear it has had. Man, black is just the worst for focusing. But anyways, we'll find some on the hood. This is really hard to get this phone to focus, but you guys know what I'm talking about. This thing is just full of swirls, scratches, you know, nothing that a buffer can't handle, but it just has not, it doesn't appear it's had a paint correction in forever. So we're gonna go through that. You guys have seen me do it a bunch of times. We're probably gonna do a 2-stage correction on this thing, but I'm gonna switch things up a little bit. I'm gonna start in the interior. Similar to the exterior, the interior is very, very clean. We already repaired this seat in a previous video. That was basically the only flaw on this entire interior. Other than that, she's pretty much mint. After we repaired this seat, I conditioned the leather and actually went through and did the rest of these a couple days after that. So they are nice and soft. Basically all we need to do in here is wipe down everything, give the carpets a good vacuum. I might shampoo this driver's side floor mat a little bit. It's just got some dirt in it. And just give it a really, really good once-over. I think the most work is going to be right here. This is a custom steering wheel. It's actually super nice. It's got the M colors in there, the light blue, the dark blue, and the red. And at one point it was suede or Alcantara here on the top and bottom. Me personally, I really don't like Alcantara or suede on steering wheels for this exact reason. They just become this gummy, disgusting mess. My C8 Z06 had it, and it looks sick, but I was always basically scared to touch it unless my hands were immaculate, which they aren't always if you're in the garage. But who knows, long term, if you take care of it, maybe it can last better than this. But basically, I'm going to try and revive this a little bit and see if we can get this steering wheel looking halfway decent once again. That way, when we finish the paint correction, this thing's done. Cosmetics, completely done. Of course, we're going to be using the full suite from my friends over at Gyeon. I'm going to be starting with, of course, their interior detailer. Then we're going to come through with the leather cleaner, get all those leather surfaces nice and clean. And then we can use their new leather shield. This is basically a leather coating. So all the benefits of a ceramic coating, but basically for your leather. So it's going to prevent UV damage, water resistant, stain resistant, all that good stuff for this hard to find BMW ostrich leather. Then I'm going to use the fabric cleaner and this soft interior brush to try to bring that back to life. Then if we have time, in order to prep for the paint correction, I already did the clay mitt, but we're going to come in with the clay bar and the clay lube to get any last remaining contaminants on the paint. Make sure this thing is ready for a correction. Man, tell me we didn't just get in a time machine. Go back to 2003. This interior is mint. Like I said, it was really clean before we started, but a little bit of elbow grease, and this thing looks factory fresh. The whole rear seat area, obviously perfect, super clean jams. Same thing up here. Driver's side mat was the only one that even really needed just a light shampoo. Steering wheel came back around pretty good. I might come at it with another round. It's gonna be hard to tell on camera. It's hard to even get it to focus. There's some lint in there now, but it is much cleaner than it was before. And the Alcantara has, you know, stood up a little bit. It's not just like matted down. It just looks much more clean. Door panels wiped down, dash wiped down. Got the seats clean with Gyeon leather cleaner, lightly agitated with their horsehair brush. Got those all cleaned up and then sealed them in with their leather ceramic coating. So these things will be protected for years to come. That stuff is awesome. Doesn't change the surface finish at all. It's not like shiny or greasy. You basically just wipe it on, let it sit for a few minutes and then buff it off just like you would a ceramic coating on your paint. Now this stuff is protected and has a little bit of a slick feel to it, which is nice. So it's going to be resistant to spills or anything like that. So this interior is literally like a 9.5 out of 10. The only flaw that I can find, and I'm sure this is a common E39 issue, is this piece right here has like this coating, or this finish is like peeling back or bubbling, but just a little bit there and then on the edge there. But other than that, there is not a single flaw in this whole interior, which is sweet. So now we get to move on to the paint correction. Of course, we're going to be using Gyeon products again, the same stuff that you guys have seen me use on just about every paint correction. Old Reliable here, my Flex DA, my Rupes Hybrid Nano. This is like for small areas. The mini guy, Gratata. Then, of course, we're going to be using actually the polish goes with the blue pad, and the cutting compound plus goes with the purple heavy cut pad. I've never done BMW paint. This is my second BMW ever, and the first one that I've ever done a paint correction on. So I have no idea what this is going to take to get a lot of these swirls and scratches out. The hood, obviously, horizontal surfaces are usually the worst. But we're obviously going to start with the heavy cut and the purple, and hopefully that takes care of most of it, if not all of it. If not, we might have to come back with a little bit of wool pad, but we're going to get this thing right. Not that I plan to do any wet sanding on this car, but just to make sure we don't end up in a similar situation like the Marauder, where I sanded through the passenger door. We're just going to see what our paint thickness is in the jams, because that's usually one coat of clear from the factory, so we're between 90 and 100-ish microns. So that is where like our bare minimum is. So we check some spots. Looks like we get 120 up on the roof. Let's check the deck lid. 166. 190. Hood. 150. 150-ish. 150-ish. 190. So, foam pad on a DA, even a wool pad, probably. We should not have anything to worry about. We're obviously going to be careful around edges and stuff, but I think that this car, other than the front bumper, has mostly original paint. So you guys know the deal. It's going to be many hours of running the buffer in the up, down, side to side basket weave pattern. So I'm going to find some music, put some headphones on or hearing protection or something. I'm thinking house beats, like 2010s house beats, like Tiesto, Cascade. It really gets me in the zone to just run a buffer for hours on end. So let's do that. Well, that is awesome. That is one pass with the Compound Plus and the purple cut pad, and we have got, like, you see how hammered the paint was on this deck lid? Wish this lighting would stop changing. Got like 90% defect removal. This thing is like night and day. And I mean, if we get right up on it, you can still see the remnants of some deeper scratches, but this is one of those situations where you spend way more time chasing perfection and potentially having a problem with the clear coat, or do we just say that 90 to 95% defect removal on a 20-year-old car is incredible? I mean, this car looked good before, and this is what it looked like before. So if we can go from that to that, I mean, that's pretty incredible. So I think that's our recipe for now. Is going to be the purple cut pad and the Compound Plus, and let's get the cut phase knocked out, and that's going to be many hours. So I'm going to get to work. Always keep a secondary mag on you. Man, the paint code Jet Black is very fitting right now. This thing is deeper than the Atlantic Ocean. Shoo! This paint cleaned up so well. I mean, we already knew it was going to. You can always tell, you know, even though if the car has a bunch of swirls and scratches and, you know, obviously hasn't seen a buffer in many years, you still can tell when it's really gonna clean up. This was no exception. This car has like 0 dents. I've not seen a single one. There's, I think, only one scratch on most of the car that I've found. And you really, you learn a car when you do a paint correction because you're 6 inches away from the paint for hours and hours and hours. It's just this scratch right here that was actually pretty well touched up in a previous lifetime. That's the only one I've found. Zero dents, that scratch. The worst part of the whole car is the hood, which for 150, I mean, a lot of this is buffing dust, but it does have some, rock chips and stuff that have been touched up. Not terrible, but this hood is original paint, and it's 23 years old now and 145,000 miles. It doesn't look too bad, but other than that, I mean, for being that age and that mileage, this thing is super duper clean. Man, does it look good. I'm really, really happy with that. We're finally done with the cutting phase, which is the longest and the hardest phase of any paint correction. You're doing 90% of your defect removal. And then we just have to do the polish phase, which is just getting rid of any hazing. Actually, the front bumper, I gave the front bumper just a quick buff, but you can see the hazing. See how it's like almost cloudy right there? That's probably because this paint is still a little bit soft, but that's what the polishing phase is gonna get out, is any of the hazing left over from the cutting phase. So that's where we're at. We're just gonna do the exact same thing, except with, instead of Compound Plus and the purple pad, we're gonna use the polish and the blue pad. Go all around the car once again, and then we'll be ready to seal it all in with ceramic coating. So let's get back to work. This winter has been absolutely relentless. At least it's warm in the garage. All right, well, good afternoon. It is a new day. Got, once again, dug out from the latest winter storm yesterday. Record-breaking storm down on the South Shore of Massachusetts, Providence. They say more snow than the blizzard of '78, which was long before my time, but God knows the boomers still talk about that storm. Anyways, got the rest of the paint fully polished up, fully corrected. Then came through and disinfected it. No, not disinfected it. Degreased it using Gyeon's, what's it called? Prep. It's a great name for it. Yeah, you're prepping for ceramic coating by making sure that none of the oils or polishing agents or any of that is left on the surface to make sure that your ceramic coating, which we're currently applying, has something to bond to and can properly adhere to the surface. So you guys have seen me do this before. Just going to use their applicator, saturate it, pick a small area, 2x2, 3x3, whatever you're comfortable with, and then just work it in a basket weave pattern. Of course, I got my two cloths here, two towels here. One is a bald wipe. I'm going to use that for the first pass, and my polish wipe, I'm going to use that for the second pass. And then you guys know me, usually take my light, make sure that I don't have any remaining product once I've leveled it or removed it. So just like a lot of paint correction, this is not hard, but just gonna take a little while. But we're just gonna let this flash for 3 to 5 minutes or up to 10 minutes with the pure stuff here. So it's a good entry-level coating. It's gonna provide 36 months of protection for your vehicle. So I think it's a good choice for our M5 here, but I'm gonna let this flash. We'll buff it off and then do it a bunch more times around the rest of the car, and then we'll be done with this beautiful jet black paint. Well, for some reason, this thing looks extra shiny at a 45-degree angle. So first things first, paint correction and ceramic coating is complete. We locked in this beautiful jet black paint using Gyeon's Pure Evo. So now it should be looking this good for years to come. And man, does it look good. So I wanted to get it outside, see what it looks like in the daylight, but we're fresh out today. The days are getting longer though. But I got the car jacked up like this because I think that I just solved the issue that we had at the end of the last video, which was the reverse lights coming on in every gear. This car is kind of a pain to get up in the air because even with my low profile long reach jack, I cannot get to that center jacking point. So we had to go from the side, a couple of jacks under there for safety. Big safety guys here. But anyways, I think I figured it out. So the BMW guys, in their infinite wisdom, this plug here and that plug there both have the exact same like EV1 style injector plug on them. And they both can reach each other, basically. So I'm guessing that I swapped those. I think one of them is the gear position indicator, lets you know, or lets the car know which gear it's in. And the other one is the reverse indicator. Of course, lets the car know that it's in reverse, puts power to the reverse lights, and therefore puts power to the backup camera and all that stuff. So I just swapped those. Those Germans are pretty smart, but you'd think that they would know better than to put two of the exact same plug with the exact same connector on a transmission with the harness that both of them can reach. But that being said, I'm probably not the only one to do this. Let's see if it fixed it. Okay, first, no reverse lights. Yeah, we fixed it. Third, nothing. Fourth, nothing. All right, now let's try reverse. Yep, camera tilts down. Backup camera comes on, parking sensors, yada, yada, yada. Fixed. Boom. Gotta love the free fixes. Now, while we're here, a bunch of you let me know that the reason the fitment on these Ukraine pork chops was not perfect is because, little known fact, this rubber thing is actually supposed to tuck inside the bumper. So I think I'll pull that wheel off, fix that one, then we'll get this side up, pull that wheel off, fix this side, and then wait till morning to see this thing in the daylight. This winter is absolutely relentless. Every day, just won't stop. It's been a while since we have a good winter though, I don't hate it. Good to see a bunch of snow in New Hampshire. Not ideal for seeing the fruits of all my labor on this beautiful jet black paint, but I think you guys have seen that over the course of the video. This thing is absolutely glass all the way around. All that's left to do now is wait for the weather to improve. Looks like we could be waiting a little while. Well, just like that, there's really nothing left on the whiteboard for the M5. But we got a ton done in this video. Complete interior detail, full paint correction, ceramic coat. This thing is basically done. The only thing I have left to do is finish that rear wheel touch up, and then a couple other little things that I've decided I'm gonna do. But other than that, there's nothing else I wanna do to this M5. This thing is just so clean the way it is. Lower down, there's awesome stock wheels, beautiful jet black paint. Stock with a couple little touches. Let me know what you guys think I should do with this car. The plan is to sell it, make room for another project on the channel, hopefully make a few bucks. I've been keeping track of not only dollars invested in this thing, but the hours I have into it as well. So it'll be cool to see that at the end. But if you guys are interested, a lot of you guys are interested in buying these cars after I'm done with them, shoot me an email, chris@sullivan-co.com. The price is probably gonna be somewhere in the low 30s based on the market that I've seen for these things. Or do we throw it on Bring a Trailer, or do we do one of those giveaways? You know, let me know. What do you guys think? Thank you guys as always for watching. Now it's time to get to work on the Camaro. Catch you in the next one.